Hey guys, welcome to my review for Diamond Is Unbreakable. I've kept you guys waiting long enough. Let's fucking go. Diamond Is Unbreakable is the fourth part in the Jojo's Bizarre Adventure series. It was written and illustrated by Hirohiko Araki, and it was serialized between 1992 and 1995 in Weekly Shonen Jump. Now, as per usual, I like to keep my reviews spoiler-free, but since we are reviewing a sequel series, then you can expect some spoilers for parts 1 through 3 in this video. So the story picks up in 1999, a good decade after the events of Stardust Crusaders. The setting is in the small Japanese town of Morio, hometown of our new protagonist, the new Jojo, Josuke Higashikata. When I first saw this guy, I was wondering how are they going to connect him to the other Jojos? Is this guy a Joestar? Why does he have a different family name and why have we never heard of him before? What's going on? That's okay, because Jotaro is here to explain it all. That's right, Jotaro Kujo, the protagonist of Stardust Crusaders, makes an appearance at the beginning of this series where he lays a bit of an info dump on his uncle. That's right, Josuke is the illegitimate child of Joseph Joestar, which honestly I thought was fucking hilarious. And not only was it hilarious, but I mean, it kind of makes sense, okay? Joseph's just that type. But the funniest part about it is that Joseph is like 79 in the series, Josuke is like, what, 15 or some shit? Anyway, because Josuke has the Joestar blood in him, he has developed his own stand, Crazy Diamond. Jotaro explains the stands to him, but he also reveals the true reason why he came. Because one of Dio's minions actually brought the bow and arrow that gives people stands, the same bow and arrow that was used on Dio and therefore affected the entire Joestar family, to Morio. It is now in town and someone is using it on the civilians, turning people into stand users. And all of a sudden, stand users are popping up everywhere. You get a stand, and you get a stand, and you get a stand, and you get... what the fuck? And unfortunately, as you would expect, not all of these stand users are using their powers for good. And again, unfortunately, one of the most dangerous stands to have ever existed has fallen into the hands of a serial killer. So not only are new stand users popping up all over the place, but you got a crazy string of serial murders. So now it is up to Josuke, his friends and fellow stand users, Koichi and Yokuzaku, and of course the legacy Jojos, to get to the bottom of things and figure out what the crap is going on in Morio. And I'm gonna be honest with you, this is probably one of the most enjoyable manga series I have ever read. And if you saw my Stardust Crusaders video, you know I absolutely love that series. I had a few problems with it, but overall I absolutely loved it. This right here is far above Stardust Crusaders. I didn't even think that was possible. I was not expecting Diamond Is Unbreakable to be as amazing as it was. And the reason I think it's so amazing and that it's leagues above Stardust Crusaders and all the other JoJo parts, it's mainly due to its fantastic story. You see, as much as I love Stardust Crusaders, the characters, the action, the artwork, the story was admittedly very simple. It was just a journey from point A to point B to defeat Dio. It never became anything more than that at all. The whole time they were just getting closer to Dio, fighting people, and then of course they fought Dio, and that was it. But the story here is crazy. You have absolutely no idea where it's going to go. It's super unpredictable, which is one of the best parts about it. Because for a while in the series, there really is no end goal. You really don't know what's going on in this town. The murders that I talked about don't actually come into play until about halfway through the series. And usually in murder mysteries, you wouldn't find out who the murderer is until the very end, but we actually learn pretty early on. And I think it's just fascinating that we kind of get to see both sides of the story. We get to learn a lot about the murderer, all the crazy shit he gets into, and we also get to see the side of the protagonist who have no clue who the murderer is and are of course looking for clues trying to find him. And they do such a good job of telling this story. It's all very suspenseful. I was on the edge of my seat the entire way through the series because I had no idea when the shit was going to hit the fan. And believe me, the shit hits the fan multiple times throughout this series. But of course it is primarily an action scene. We go through a lot of battles with multiple stand users, and I have to say Araki just knocked it out of the park arc this time. Stands have to be one of the best, most unique powers I have ever seen in a manga. At this point, I don't give a shit that Hamon is gone. Like, fuck Hamon. Every single stand is unique. They have crazy powers that you would never even imagine. Josuke's stand, Crazy Diamond, can heal people just like that, almost instantaneously. It's never used for ass pulls though, and it works really well in the story and during fight scenes. We of course have Jotaro and Star Platinum returning. Now Jotaro has had a couple years to train his so of course he can now freeze time just like Dio used to. But some of the stands that their allies have and some of the villains have is just amazing. And my favorite stand has to go to Killer Queen, which is the stand of our villain Kira. I won't say what the stand can do because it's a spoiler, but holy shit. And as per usual, and even more so than Stardust Crusaders, it is bizarre as shit. The series is just so fucking insane, but that is one of the best parts about it because everything feels so unique and creative. Araki manages to create some insanely ridiculous situations that you would never think about, that would sound so ridiculous on paper, but when you actually read it, it's some of the most engrossing shit you will ever read. Seriously, there's a part in this series where they're playing rock, paper, scissors, which is the most batshit insane thing I have ever read. So the series doesn't take itself too seriously, but it does just enough for you to really care about the story, want to see where it's going to go. And of course the ending is very satisfying, so you will not be disappointed. Let's talk about the characters. Josuke is my favorite Jojo so far. He really knocks it out of the park here. He just has a great personality. He doesn't take shit from anyone. He's super badass. And we of course have Jotaro and Joseph returning for this series. Jotaro is as great as ever. Not really much has changed, although you can definitely tell he's not a kid anymore. He has matured a good bit. Then you have Joseph, who is just as great and hilarious as ever, even more so now in his old age where he can barely hear anything. And I really like the relationship he has with Josuke, because Josuke has no idea what to think. When he meets Joseph, it's the first time he's ever seen his real father, who's nearly 80 years old. I also really love the supporting cast. I really liked Okuyasu. I thought he was a great character. But the main one I want to focus on is Koichi, because holy shit, I was not expecting to like this guy as much as I did, but honestly, he's one of my favorite characters in the entire JoJo series. Now, he starts off pretty weak. He's abnormally shorter than most kids his age, but he has some excellent development throughout the series. He becomes a super badass, and I absolutely loved the chapters that he was in, which is honestly a lot of them. A lot of time is spent on Koichi in the series, and I think it works amazingly well. And let's talk about the villain, Kira. Honestly, I like him more than Dio, which is saying a lot because I absolutely love Dio, but of course the thing that sets him apart is that we get to follow him around, just see how fucked up he is. He eventually runs into our heroes, and believe me, you will not be expecting it, and the story just becomes crazy, rises the hype all the way to the end. All of these characters are fucking awesome. They make the story even better. Absolutely no complaints at all. And as for the art, I mean, I really don't have much more to say. I covered pretty much everything in the Stardust Crusaders review. The art is very similar. It hasn't changed much, but still has the crazy energy, the crazy poses, and it all looks amazing. The amount of detail Araki puts into his work for a weekly series is honestly kind of unbelievable. And once again, I did read this series in color, and it is absolutely the best way to experience Diamond is Unbreakable. And there you have it. Those were my thoughts on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 4. I have nothing but praise for this. This blew me away. I finally understand why JoJo is regarded as one of the best manga of all time. And I feel like the best part for me in all of this is that I'm only halfway through all that JoJo has to offer. There are still 4 more parts after this. And if any of these parts are as good or even better than Diamond is Unbreakable, I could easily see this becoming one of my favorite series of all time. So you probably saw this coming, but my final score for Diamond is Unbreakable is 5 Dwangs out of 5. Easily one of the best stories I have read, and I cannot recommend it enough. If you are interested in checking out Diamond is Unbreakable, unfortunately there is no official English release. Why this is after 20 years? I have no fucking clue. However, it has been licensed by Viz Media, and it will be released. The problem is that it will only be released once the Stardust Crusaders JoJoniums are finished releasing, which is gonna be a while. Don't expect to see an English release for this series for at least another year and a half, but at least we do have confirmation that it is coming. If you would like an official way to experience the series, you can check out the anime on Crunchyroll. As per usual, I have not seen the anime, but from what I've seen, it's a very faithful adaptation and it looks pretty lit. So if you're more an anime person, go for that shit, because it's amazing. So there you have it. That's all I had to say on Diamond is Unbreakable. I'm going to be continuing my trend for Jojo reviews, so after this I will review 2 more series and then I will jump into part 5. Thank you all so much for watching. You can leave your thoughts in the comments below, and I will see you soon. Oh, I can't believe I'm finally saying this. For my fairy tale review. Let the force of love take you high.